We stand on the cusp of a medical revolution where the boundaries between science fiction and reality blur. Imagine a world where damaged or failing organs aren't just treated but replaced, created from scratch, printed layer by layer. The idea of 3D printing organs once seemed like a fantasy, but now it's happening right before our eyes. We can already print skin for burn victims, and scientists are working tirelessly to perfect the technology to print more complex tissues like hearts, kidneys, and even lungs. In this future, no one would wait for a transplant list, and the risk of organ rejection would dramatically decrease because these organs are made from our own cells. Think about it. Someone with end-stage liver failure could simply have a new liver printed and transplanted within days. The liver would be an exact match derived from their own stem cells, ensuring that the immune system accepts it without complications. The process begins by harvesting cells from the patient's body, which are then cultivated to grow into the tissue that makes up the organ. The cells are loaded into a bioink, which is then used by the 3D printer to build the organ layer by layer with incredible precision. It's a process that is still being perfected, but one we can already see becoming a reality. But that's only part of the story. Imagine further, a future where implants, whether for neurological conditions or joint replacements, don't just serve their purpose and sit there indefinitely, they disappear. This concept of bioabsorbable implants is the next frontier. Implants that integrate seamlessly with the body, perform their function, and then gradually dissolve or are absorbed by the body once their job is done. This could change the way we treat neurological disorders. Picture someone who has suffered a traumatic brain injury, or perhaps a patient with epilepsy. Today, treatments involve invasive surgeries or medications with long-term side effects. But with brain implants, designed to detect and suppress seizures or repair damaged neural pathways, we would be able to restore function without the need for lifelong intervention. These implants, made from biocompatible materials, would interact with the brain to deliver electrical impulses or release medication as needed, then break down into harmless substances once they are no longer required. No follow-up surgery to remove them, no ongoing risks. This is no longer speculative science, it's happening. Research on bioabsorbable electronics is making strides, particularly in the field of neural engineering. The materials used for these implants are designed to be flexible, non-toxic, and degradable. They can adapt to the body's natural environment, avoiding the inflammation or scarring that can occur with traditional implants. For instance, a patient who requires a temporary pacemaker after surgery could have one made from materials that would dissolve over a set period, eliminating the need for a second procedure to remove the device. The potential for such technology is staggering. We could see a future where strokes, spinal cord injuries, and even neurodegenerative diseases like Parkinson's and Alzheimer's are managed or treated with temporary implants that fine-tune neural activity. These devices would be finely tuned to the individual's needs, sending signals only when required, and then disappearing once the brain has been healed or stabilized. This approach could revolutionize neuroprosthetics and expand the possibilities of what it means to heal the brain. But the integration of these technologies won't be easy. There are challenges to overcome. We need to ensure the safety and long-term efficacy of these devices. Scientists are working to perfect the materials so that they dissolve at just the right pace and do so without causing harm. The interface between human biology and technology must be flawless. The margin for error in something as delicate as the brain or heart is razor-thin, and the stakes are incredibly high. We stand at the threshold of a new era in medicine, where the body's ability to regenerate and heal is supported by technology in ways that were once unimaginable. It's not just about curing diseases or treating symptoms anymore. It's about creating a world where the body can repair itself with the help of innovations that are as natural as the body's own processes. With each step forward, the line between biology and technology becomes more seamless, giving us a glimpse into a future where we have unprecedented control over our health and longevity. In the not-so-distant future, 3D printed organs and bioabsorbable implants may become as common as today's pacemakers and prosthetics. The promise of these technologies is not just to extend life, but to improve the quality of that life. Imagine a world where no one fears organ failure, where brain injuries are treated with temporary implants that leave no trace, and where the human body and machine work in harmony. It's a future that feels both inevitable and awe-inspiring, and we are closer than we've ever been. We're truly living in the age of biomaterials and bioelectronics, and this shift is reshaping the landscape of healthcare as we know it. Imagine a future where synthetic implants seamlessly integrate with our bodies, or where devices powered by our own biological functions can monitor, diagnose, and even heal from within. That future isn't decades away. It's being crafted right now. In laboratories across the globe, scientists are working tirelessly to create materials that not only mimic our body's natural structures, but also communicate with it in real time. These biocompatible materials represent a groundbreaking leap forward in our ability to treat diseases, repair injuries, and improve the outcomes of transplants. And we, as humanity, are at the threshold of a medical revolution. Take a moment to think about how we traditionally treat injuries. For example, a person with a damaged bone might receive a metal or plastic implant. While these materials are strong and durable, they're inherently foreign to the body. The immune system often reacts, sometimes causing inflammation, rejection, or the eventual failure of the implant. Over time, the implant may even need to be replaced. But now, researchers are developing biomaterials that can adapt to the body, reduce immune reactions, and even promote natural healing. Imagine this. A patient undergoing a bone transplant receives not a rigid metal piece, but a scaffold made of a biodegradable material that slowly dissolves as the bone regenerates around it. Over time, the patient's body essentially repairs itself. These materials aren't passive objects. They're active participants in the healing process, encouraging cell growth, delivering medications directly to the injury site, and responding to the body's signals. This isn't science fiction. It's science happening today. Now, enter bioelectronics, a field that takes the union of biology and technology to the next level. Researchers are designing devices that can interface with our nervous systems, potentially giving us the ability to restore lost functions. We've already seen incredible progress in neuroprosthetics, where electrodes implanted in the brain allow individuals with paralysis to control robotic limbs using only their thoughts. These advancements are giving hope to millions around the world who suffer from neurological disorders or injuries. But bioelectronics isn't just about restoring function. It's about enhancing the body's natural processes. In some labs, scientists are developing smart implants that can monitor vital signs, release drugs as needed, and even transmit data to a patient's doctor in real time. Picture a future where someone with diabetes no longer needs to manually check their blood sugar or inject insulin. Instead, a small implant inside their body continuously monitors glucose levels and delivers precise doses of insulin automatically. What's even more exciting is the idea of creating biohybrid systems, where man-made materials and living cells work together. We're beginning to see this with bioengineered tissues, where layers of living cells are grown on a synthetic scaffold to create functional tissues that can be used in transplants. For patients in need of a new organ, this could be life-changing. Instead of waiting for a donor match, we could eventually grow organs from the patient's own cells, reducing the risk of rejection and saving countless lives. Of course, these advancements don't come without challenges. Designing materials that can communicate with the body requires an intricate understanding of both biology and engineering. There's also the question of how to power these devices. Traditional batteries, for instance, are bulky and often need to be replaced. However, some teams are exploring how to harness the body's natural energy sources, like the electrical signals in our muscles, or the heat generated by metabolism, to power bioelectronic devices. The goal is to create self-sustaining systems that can operate for years without needing to be recharged or replaced. We're on the cusp of transforming how we approach healthcare. No longer are we limited to merely treating symptoms. With biomaterials and bioelectronics, we have the potential to actually regenerate tissues, restore function, and monitor health in ways we've never been able to before. These innovations bring us closer to a future where healthcare is not only personalized but also deeply integrated into our bodies. As we move forward, we must keep in mind the ethical considerations that come with these technologies. How do we ensure that these advancements are accessible to everyone, not just a privileged few? What are the long-term effects of having bioelectronic devices inside the body? And how do we balance the promise of these technologies with concerns about privacy, consent, and autonomy? We're living through a pivotal moment in history, one where the boundaries between the natural and the synthetic are beginning to blur. The age of biomaterials and bioelectronics is not some distant dream. It's here, and it's reshaping our future in ways we are only just beginning to understand. Together, we stand at the forefront of this revolution, and it's up to us to guide it in a way that maximizes the benefits for all of humanity. Imagine a future where brain implants can restore lost neurological functions, treat disorders like Parkinson's, and vanish once their job is done, all without the need for invasive surgery. It's not the plot of a sci-fi movie. It's a rapidly advancing frontier in medical science. We are on the cusp of a revolution where technology and biology merge seamlessly to heal the brain. In recent years, scientists and engineers have been pushing the boundaries of brain-computer interfaces, BCIs, and implantable medical devices. These technologies already show incredible promise, helping to manage symptoms of Parkinson's disease, controlling prosthetic limbs through thought alone, or even restoring sight to the blind. However, the long-term use of these implants comes with significant challenges. Foreign objects in the body, no matter how advanced, can cause inflammation, infection, or even immune responses that compromise their effectiveness. More critically, when these implants need to be removed, patients often face the prospect of additional surgery, something no one looks forward to after an initial complex procedure. But what if we could bypass that risk? What if these implants, once they have served their purpose, could simply disappear, like dissolving sutures used in surgeries today? Scientists are developing just that, bioabsorbable brain implants, designed to perform a specific function before dissolving naturally into the body. Here's how it works. The devices are made from materials such as magnesium, silicon, and certain types of polymers, substances that can be safely absorbed by the body over time. These materials break down in a controlled manner, avoiding the need for risky removal procedures. After implantation, the device could monitor brain activity, deliver electrical stimulation, or release medication to targeted areas, helping to treat neurological disorders like Parkinson's disease or epilepsy. Once the device has completed its task, the body gradually absorbs it, breaking it down into harmless byproducts. Imagine the possibilities. Picture someone who has suffered from Parkinson's disease for years, plagued by tremors and muscle rigidity. Traditional treatments have provided some relief but never fully restored their quality of life. Now, they undergo a minimally invasive procedure to receive a brain implant designed to stimulate key areas of the brain responsible for motor control. For months, this device delivers precise electrical impulses gradually, restoring function and reducing symptoms. And then, after the treatment period is complete, the implant begins to dissolve, with no need for a second surgery. The body metabolizes the material naturally, leaving behind no trace of the device, but with restored motor function that might last for years. We're seeing incredible breakthroughs in the laboratory that could make this a reality. Researchers are working to perfect the design of these implants, ensuring they can deliver their therapeutic effect for exactly the right amount of time, whether it's weeks, months, or even years, before they begin to disintegrate. Advances in nanotechnology and bioengineering are key to making this vision possible. By designing materials that are not only biocompatible but also biodegradable, we can create devices that not only treat diseases, but also reduce long-term risks for patients. This is particularly important for neurodegenerative conditions like Parkinson's, where managing symptoms over time is critical. While current brain implants, like deep brain stimulation (DBS) devices, have proven to be effective in controlling motor symptoms, they are not a permanent fix. The need to replace or remove these devices due to hardware failures or risks of infection creates an ongoing burden for patients. Bioabsorbable implants could offer a safer and more convenient alternative, potentially eliminating the need for replacement surgeries altogether. Moreover, the potential applications of this technology extend far beyond treating Parkinson's, traumatic brain injuries, epilepsy, chronic pain, and even psychiatric disorders like depression could all be treated using temporary brain implants designed to deliver precise interventions and then vanish without a trace. Imagine soldiers returning from combat with severe traumatic brain injuries. Implants could help restore their cognitive functions over time and then dissolve once their work is done. The same technology could also deliver localized treatments for brain tumors, releasing chemotherapy drugs directly at the site of a tumor and then dissolving, minimizing damage to surrounding healthy tissue. Of course, we still have significant challenges to overcome before these devices can become widely available. One of the key hurdles is ensuring that the materials used in bioabsorbable implants are both safe and effective over long periods. We need to fine-tune the degradation process so that it happens at the right time, in the right environment, and leaves no toxic residues. Researchers are also focused on making these devices as efficient as possible, delivering the right amount of stimulation or medication without compromising the body's delicate neurological balance. As we continue to explore and develop these technologies, the potential to revolutionize neurological care is becoming clearer. What was once a dream of science fiction, a world where devices heal our brains and then fade away without a trace, is now firmly within our grasp. The implications for medicine, patient safety, and quality of life are profound. Imagine a world where the tools that restore our health are so advanced, they disappear when their job is done, leaving nothing behind but a fully functioning brain. Imagine a world where the scarcity of organs for transplantation is no longer a problem, where the long, agonizing wait for a donor match is a thing of the past, and where the possibility of organ rejection is practically non-existent. We are on the brink of a medical revolution that could turn this vision into reality through the power of 3D bioprinting. This isn't science fiction. It's science at the cutting edge of innovation, and it's set to transform medicine as we know it. With 3D bioprinting, we are not merely printing prosthetics or bone replacements. We're talking about creating entire functional organs, hearts, kidneys, livers, and even lungs tailor-made for each individual patient. Picture this: a patient suffering from heart failure no longer has to endure years of waiting, praying for a donor heart that might never culminate. Instead, we could take a sample of that patient's own cells, use them as the foundation for a brand new heart, printed layer by layer, to match their body perfectly. This heart would not only be custom designed, but also made entirely from their own biological material, eliminating the risk of organ rejection, a life-threatening complication in many transplants today. How does it work? At the core of this breakthrough lies a technology that allows us to print biological tissues in 3 dimensions. The process starts with a bioink, a combination of living cells and a gel-like scaffold that is deposited layer by layer using a specialized bioprinter. These printers are not much different in principle from the 3D printers used to create plastic models or metal components, but the materials and precision involved are far more complex. Once printed, these layers of bioink form the building blocks of tissues and, eventually, entire organs. The real marvel here is the ability to personalize each organ down to the cellular level. Every organ printed for a patient could be crafted from their own cells, ensuring a perfect immunological match. This means that after the transplant, the body recognizes the organ as its own, greatly reducing or even eliminating the need for immunosuppressive drugs, medications that patients currently have to take for life, which come with a host of debilitating side effects, including increased susceptibility to infections and cancers. We must also consider the impact this will have on the entire healthcare system. Currently, the need for organ transplants far outweighs the availability of donated organs. Patients die every day because the organ they need doesn't become available in time. Even when organs are available, the process of transportation, matching, and the urgency of surgery make organ transplants a race against time. With bioprinted organs, we can eliminate much of this uncertainty. Imagine a scenario where, instead of waiting for an organ donor, we could bioprint an organ on demand, significantly speeding up the time between diagnosis and treatment. Moreover, this technology could allow us to print organs that are stronger, more resilient, and more efficient than their natural counterparts. Since the organs are designed at a cellular level, there's the possibility of enhancing them, perhaps to increase the lifespan of the organ or improve its function. It might sound like a distant dream now, but we could eventually print hearts that are more resistant to failure or lungs that are better suited to withstanding environmental damage. Of course, there are still challenges ahead. The process of printing complex, vascularized tissues that include the intricate network of blood vessels necessary to sustain an organ, is still in its early stages. While we have successfully printed simpler tissues such as skin or cartilage, the leap to fully functional, vascularized organs is immense. Researchers are working tirelessly to solve these issues, using techniques like microfluidics to simulate blood flow or developing more advanced bioinks that mimic the body's natural tissues more accurately. Even as these challenges are addressed, we can't ignore the ethical considerations. What happens when we can print organs on demand? Will this technology be available to everyone or only to the wealthiest patients? Could this lead to an era where we not only treat disease, but enhance the human body beyond its natural limits? These are questions we must confront as this technology moves closer to becoming a clinical reality. In the near future, we could find ourselves in a world where organ failure is no longer a death sentence. Instead of relying on the generosity and tragedy of organ donors, we could create life-saving organs in a lab, using nothing but the patient's own cells and a bioprinter. It's a world where the phrase, "waiting for a transplant," could be relegated to history books, a footnote in the story of how we conquered one of medicine's greatest challenges. As we stand on the threshold of this remarkable new era, it's important to remember that this is not just about technology. It's about people. It's about the countless lives that could be saved, the families that could remain whole, and the individuals who could be given a second chance at life. Bioprinted organs could change everything, not just in terms of how we treat disease, but in how we think about the human body itself, no longer as something we are born with and bound by, but as something we can now rebuild, repair, and even improve. We stand on the brink of a revolution in medicine, one that promises to redefine the very essence of how we treat chronic and degenerative diseases. Imagine a world where replacing a failing organ is no longer a matter of finding a donor, but rather something as routine as printing a document. This is no longer a distant dream. It is becoming our reality, as studies in bioprinting are advancing at an unprecedented rate, and the first human trials are showing promising results. Let's picture it together. A patient suffering from end-stage liver disease, traditionally reliant on the hope of a donor match and a complicated transplant surgery. But instead of enduring months or even years on a waiting list, we can now take cells from this patient, feed them into a 3D bioprinter, and within days, we create a perfectly functional, personalized liver. No risk of rejection, no immunosuppressive drugs, just a healthy organ tailored to the unique biological makeup of the individual. The science behind this is both fascinating and intricate. At its core, it begins with stem cells, those remarkable, undifferentiated cells that can develop into any type of tissue in the body. With recent breakthroughs, we have learned how to coax these cells into forming the specific structures we need, from the smooth muscle of arteries to the intricate filtering systems of kidneys. Then, using a special bioink composed of these cells, scientists can print layer upon layer of living tissue, carefully building organs that are not just functional, but truly alive. As we follow the progress in laboratories, the potential impact on chronic diseases is staggering. Take diabetes, for example, a condition affecting millions. Instead of relying on insulin injections or organ transplants, what if we could simply print a new pancreas? Or consider heart disease, the leading cause of death worldwide. Researchers are already testing bioprinted cardiac patches, small sections of heart tissue that can be applied directly to damaged areas, regenerating muscle and restoring function without the need for invasive surgery. The human trials underway are already yielding results that challenge the limits of what we thought possible. While these first tests are small in scale, the implications are enormous. In one early study, a group of patients with chronic kidney disease received tiny bioprinted patches of renal tissue. Over time, these patches integrated with their bodies, not just surviving but thriving, producing small amounts of urine, proof that the tissue was functioning as intended. This is just the beginning. Scientists believe that within the next decade, we could see the first fully bioprinted organs being transplanted into humans. The ethical implications, while profound, only highlight how far we have come. We are no longer asking whether it can be done, but rather, how soon we can make it a reality. Let us not forget the impact this will have on diseases like Alzheimer's or Parkinson's, which involve the slow degeneration of the brain and nervous system. Bioprinting holds the potential to replace not just entire organs, but also the microscopic cells and structures that define our cognitive functions. Imagine regenerating brain tissue, restoring memory, speech, and personality to someone who has slowly lost their identity to Alzheimer's. It is a future that was once pure science fiction, but now we can almost touch it. And it's not just organs, joints, bones, skin. Anything that degrades over time could be repaired or replaced. The implications extend beyond disease, even into aging itself. In the future, bioprinting might allow us to replace worn-out tissues, extending our health span far beyond current limits. Picture a future where we do not merely live longer, but live better, free from the burdens of arthritis, heart disease, and the long list of ailments that come with age. But as with all scientific breakthroughs, there are hurdles we must overcome. We still face challenges in vascularization, the process of ensuring that bioprinted organs have the necessary blood vessels to survive once transplanted. The complexity of certain organs, such as the brain or lungs, means it will take time to perfect the technology. However, with each passing year, these challenges are being met with innovative solutions. The truth is, we are at the dawn of a new era in medicine. Bioprinting is no longer a speculative idea, but a rapidly evolving field that will redefine what is possible in human health. We are moving closer to a world where no one dies waiting for an organ, where chronic diseases that once crippled generations can be treated at their source, and where the natural limitations of the human body are no longer insurmountable. So, as we watch these studies unfold, and as we witness the first human trials, we know that we are not just bystanders to history, we are participants. Each new discovery, each successful trial brings us closer to a future where we can control our biology in ways once unimaginable. We are standing at the edge of this new chapter in medicine, ready to turn the page. And when we do, we will see a world transformed. A world where creating an organ is as simple as printing a document. We stand on the edge of a new era in medicine, where science fiction is transforming into tangible reality. Every day, advancements in technology are reshaping the way we approach health, disease, and human repair. One of the most fascinating aspects of this transformation is the emergence of biomaterials that our body can absorb, smart brain implants that can seamlessly integrate with neural activity, and 3D printed organs tailored to the individual. The future of medicine isn't a distant dream. It's being written right now. When we talk about biomaterials, we're referring to substances designed to interact with biological systems. But more than that, we're now seeing the development of materials that the body can absorb and naturally integrate without rejection. Imagine this: rather than using metal screws or synthetic meshes to repair a broken bone or torn ligament, we can implant a scaffold made of a biodegradable material. Over time, the scaffold dissolves and the body's cells grow into the space it leaves behind, creating natural tissue. It's like planting the seeds of a new tissue, and the body takes over from there. This doesn't just heal wounds, revolutionizes recovery, reducing the need for multiple surgeries and the complications that come with foreign objects remaining inside the body. Let's take this a step further. Think about how this innovation changes the way we approach complex injuries or surgeries, such as cardiovascular diseases. Today, stents made of polymers that degrade over time can be placed in blood vessels. These stents do their job, keeping arteries open before they are absorbed by the body. There's no need to remove them, no foreign materials left behind. It's an elegant solution that works in harmony with our natural biology. But biomaterials are just the beginning. Smart brain implants are taking us into a realm that once seemed the stuff of science fiction. The brain, with its billions of neurons firing in intricate patterns, is the ultimate frontier of medicine. Now, with the advent of advanced neural implants, we are starting to understand and even interface with the brain in ways we never thought possible. For instance, imagine a small device implanted in the brain of someone suffering from Parkinson's disease. This device doesn't just passively sit there. It's intelligent. It can detect abnormal brain activity and deliver precise electrical impulses to correct it in real time, helping the patient regain control of their movements. This isn't a distant dream. This is happening today with deep brain stimulation (DBS) technologies. And we're pushing further, developing implants that don't just modulate neural activity, but actually learn from it, adapting their function over time as the brain's needs change. The implications of this go far beyond neurological disorders. Smart brain implants could one day enhance memory, help treat mental health conditions like depression, or even restore lost senses such as vision or hearing. We're talking about a future where brain-machine interfaces allow people to control prosthetics with their thoughts or communicate with devices just by thinking. These technologies blur the lines between biology and technology, raising questions about what it means to be human in this new era. And then there's 3D printing, which is transforming not just the world of manufacturing, but also the very fabric of medicine. We've all heard about 3D printed models used to plan surgeries more precisely, but the real revolution is the prospect of printing functional organs ***. Today, scientists are already printing tissue, such as skin, cartilage, and even blood vessels, layer by layer. The goal is nothing less than printing entire organs, hearts, kidneys, livers, that are custom-made from a patient's own cells. This approach solves two critical problems in modern medicine: the shortage of donor organs and the risk of rejection by the body. A 3D printed organ, made from a person's own cells, would perfectly match their body, eliminating the need for lifelong immunosuppressive drugs. Think about it. No more waiting lists, no more compatibility issues. A patient in need of a new kidney might one day have one printed in the hospital, ready for transplantation, perfectly suited to their body. This isn't some wild dream of the future. Researchers are making strides in this direction as we speak, refining the processes, improving the materials, and pushing the boundaries of what's possible. What we're witnessing is the merging of biology and technology in unprecedented ways. Biomaterials that dissolve inside us, smart implants that read and modulate brain activity, organs built from scratch using a 3D printer. All of these innovations are rewriting the rules of medicine. No longer are we limited by the body's natural capacity to heal or by the availability of donor organs. We are engineering solutions that work with the body, enhance its abilities, and in some cases, replace failing parts altogether. It's easy to be swept away by the possibilities, but it's also crucial to recognize the challenges that come with these breakthroughs. Ethical questions abound. How do we ensure these technologies are safe? Who gets access to them? How do we regulate devices that merge so intimately with our biology? We have to ask ourselves as we move toward a future where the lines between human and machine blur. What limits should we place on our capabilities? One thing is certain. The future of medicine is already here. It's unfolding right now in laboratories, hospitals, and research centers around the world. What was once the domain of science fiction is becoming a reality. And as we continue to develop these extraordinary technologies, we're changing not just the way we treat diseases, but the very nature of human health and healing itself. The question isn't whether these advancements will shape the future. They already are. The only question is how far we'll take them, and whether we're ready to embrace the full potential of a future where biology and technology are inextricably intertwined. We're living in the future we once only dreamed of, and it's evolving faster than we ever imagined. The future of science is unfolding right before our eyes, and it's nothing short of astonishing. We're living in an era where technological advancements and medical innovations are not only changing the way we approach healthcare, but also reshaping our understanding of what's possible for the human body and mind. Imagine a world where diseases that once seemed like inevitable death sentences can now be cured with precision medicine tailored to each individual. Picture a reality where organs can be printed using 3D bioprinting technology, and where artificial intelligence, AI, helps doctors make life-saving decisions with accuracy previously thought to be unattainable. We're at the forefront of this revolution, and we can't help but be amazed at the possibilities. New tools, treatments, and breakthroughs are turning what used to be science fiction into science fact. Take CRISPR, for example. This gene editing technology has given us the ability to precisely cut and modify DNA, offering the potential to eliminate genetic disorders and even prevent diseases before they start. It's as if we've been handed the keys to the genetic code of life itself. We're no longer passive observers of our health. We are actively shaping it. AI is another game changer in healthcare. By analyzing vast amounts of data, AI algorithms can identify patterns that would take humans years to discover. These systems are being trained to recognize diseases in their earliest stages, long before symptoms become apparent to a doctor. And it's not just about diagnosing. AI is helping us predict patient outcomes and determine the most effective treatments with remarkable precision. When combined with the power of big data, AI becomes a tool for personalized medicine that caters to our unique biology and needs. Robotics, too, is transforming surgery. We're entering an age where surgeons can use robotic systems to perform complex procedures with greater precision than ever before, minimizing the risk of complications and speeding up recovery times. These innovations allow us to approach surgery in ways that were unimaginable even a decade ago. The dream of less invasive, more accurate procedures is now a reality, and it's changing lives every day. 3D printing has also revolutionized the way we think about medical treatments. Organs, tissues, and even bones can be custom printed, reducing the need for donor organs and improving recovery outcomes. Imagine needing a kidney transplant and having a custom organ printed just for you, one that perfectly matches your body's requirements. We are on the verge of making organ waiting lists obsolete, and the implications for patient care are staggering. And then there's the rapidly evolving field of wearable technology. We're no longer relying on visits to the doctor for all our health insights. With the proliferation of wearable devices, we can now monitor vital signs, glucose levels, and even heart rhythms in real time from the comfort of our homes. These devices not only give us unprecedented control over our health, but they also provide valuable data to our healthcare providers, enabling them to make more informed decisions. It's as if we've become active participants in our own healthcare journey, empowered with the tools and information to stay healthier for longer. But with all these advancements, we must also consider the ethical implications. As we gain the ability to manipulate genes, enhance human performance, and extend life, we need to ask ourselves, how far is too far? Who gets access to these life-saving technologies? What are the long-term consequences for humanity? These are questions we must face as we move forward, and the answers will shape the future of healthcare and society as a whole. One thing is certain: the future of science is here, and it's unfolding faster than we ever thought possible. As we continue to push the boundaries of what's possible, we invite you to join us on this journey. If you're as fascinated by these innovations as we are, make sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and hit the notification bell. We'll keep you updated with the latest breakthroughs, because together, we're not just witnessing the future of science, we're living it. This is more than just technology. It's the beginning of a new era in human health. Let's explore this exciting future where our bodies, our minds, and our potential are redefined.